all of our sponsors for today, Brandtastic, the Tampa Pd Business Journal, and FastSigns of South Tampa. We do still have luncheon sponsorships available for the remainder of this year, so please see Erica if you'd like the opportunity to greet our members at a future luncheon. We'd also like to thank all of our sponsors and members who made our 95th anniversary in 2021 Business of the Year Awards a success, presented by Webb Insurance Group and held at the beautiful Hotel Hyatt in Ybor City. Of course, another congratulations to this year's Business of the Year winners, and we are excited to share with you this short video produced by Hot Lava Productions in celebration of the South Tampa Chamber's 95th year. Hello and welcome to the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce 95th anniversary celebration. We are incredibly excited to celebrate 95 years as the voice of business in the South Tampa community. The South Tampa Chamber is a business association made up of more than 650 members and community leaders working together each and every day to make South Tampa the best place to live, work, and play.
The South Tampa Chamber of Commerce has provided so much for the community here in South Tampa. It's provided a place where individuals, organizations, not-for-profits can come together and really connect.
Look around. We have it all. South Tampa has literally everything.
Overall, I think the South Tampa Chamber is probably the best organization I've ever been involved in.
We have so many fine restaurants, waterfront properties.
The Chamber is 95 years young this year, and you look great for your age. The Chamber has been getting out the message about all the wonderful businesses in the area for nearly a century. I want to thank all of you for this important work, and I want to extend a special thank you to my good friend, Kelly Flannery. Keep up the excellent work, Kelly, and keep those big scissors handy.
This Chamber of Commerce is that we're just a networking organization, and while we are proud to provide connection opportunities for our members each and every day, one of the best benefits of Chamber membership is the resources and communication that the Chamber provides. We've been able to send out hundreds of communications this past year for information to help business owners through this time and into the future. We're excited to participate in the recovery and rebuilding in our community, and will continue to send out valuable and embedded resources in a timely manner for our members.
This chamber would be nowhere without the staff. I'm really very proud of what they've done and continue to do to be a conduit between residents, businesses, and government.
We have such a circle of positive energy going within the chamber and within the business community.
I would say if someone considering joining is to get involved.
So find an activity, find a committee, find a property organization that really speaks to you and your heart, and then get involved and stay involved.
We want to support our other chamber members. So that means maybe going out to the restaurant, going to their store, or going to their business as much as we can.
Whether you're a member of the South Tampa Chamber or not, keep in mind, South Tampa Chamber of Commerce is part of our community. It is part of who you are and who you can be. So join us for an event, join us for an experience, or join us as a member. You're welcome here.
Cheers to 95 years. Thank you again to Brad Hall and Hot Lava Productions for producing this great video, and to all of our members who participated. Get excited, everyone, and save the date. The 15th annual Taste of South Tampa is back, and we will be the Tampa Garden Club on May 2nd. Restaurant booths and exhibitor booths are available, but are selling out fast, and tickets are also on sale as of this week at tasteofsouthampa.com. Use code STCOC21 for your member discount. As I mentioned, also luncheon sponsorships are still available for the remainder of this year. If you'd like to be featured at a future luncheon, please see Erica later today or in the next upcoming weeks. Next, we would like to welcome our new members from this past month. If this is your first luncheon as a member or a guest, please stand and briefly introduce yourself. For those who are joining us today on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat feature to introduce yourself there as well. So we have anyone who's joining us today for their first time. You can go first, introduce yourself.
I just moved to And started a plumbing company here in South Africa. Usually plumbing service, some of that.
We just got a new location just opened up on January 15th. My name is Joseph. I am the manager of Expressway Change and Tire Engineers in South Tampa. That's just one of our many stores in the greater Tampa area as well as across the nation. Currently, I just come from the STCOC, so
Thank you and welcome to all of our new members and guests. We also have some anniversaries to celebrate today. The Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship, 2 years. Congratulations, Shane. David Toback, 3 years. Congratulations, David. Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 5 years. 12 years for SFG Wealth Advisors. Congratulations. We would like to say thank you to all of our renewals and congratulations to those celebrating an anniversary this month. Your membership support of the Chamber is now more important than ever. We know there are many places where you can invest your resources, especially during times such as these, and we look forward to continuing to serve you in the coming year. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you for your business. We would also like to recognize those members who have recently joined our 110% club. When members voluntarily contribute an extra 10% over your annual investment, your contribution helps the South Tampa Chamber to continue providing relevant programs and resources to serve the needs of its members, as well as supporting the advocacy and promotion of business growth. Thank you so much to the members. As always, we'd like to recognize our Chairman's Circle members. Thank you to all of our members for your support of the South Tampa Chamber. And always, today and always, which allow us to continue to advocate for business, connect and educate our members, and make South Tampa the best place to live, work, and play. And now it is my very favorite time of our monthly gatherings, something that I've missed so much this past year. We would like to invite you, if you've done business recently with another chamber member. For those who are here in the room, please take this opportunity to stand and share. And once again, for those that are joining us via Zoom today, please share your member moments in the chat. So who would like to share their member moments from this podcast?
Hi, my name is Laura Sabonovich, academic science technology, and we had our aesthetic signature event in Bachelor Day. I cannot thank you by name because the event closed, but I really appreciate your participation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steven from Macro Technology. I'm a guy that will temperature reading devices. We want to give a shout out to Jerry, who might have and also Kristen from DC Newman. I actually done this before, and we actually got like this. That is not only the star, please do it. I'd also like to thank Strategic Marketing Tool for making amazing swag. My new office is great stuff, so if anybody's looking to get promo items, definitely I check into Tool.
Thank you so much to all of our members who chose to do business with other chamber members this past month. And we encourage you to remember a member and utilize our South Tampa Chamber member directory. Our printed publication is on your screen today, and then new members are added daily to our website as well. I am very excited to now introduce today's speaker. We were chatting at our table. Next month will be 8 years ago celebrating the anniversary of the South Tampa Chamber, and we had one of the very first conversations that we began to have 8 years ago was regarding the construction, the several decade conversation of building the Summit extension. So I'm thrilled to have Joe Waggoner here with us today. He is the executive director The Tampa Hillsborough Expressway Authority has since August of 2007. During his tenure, he has significantly improved maintenance, operations, and financial position of the agency. The Summit Expressway became an all-electronically tolled facility. The Tampa Hillsborough Expressway Authority became an independent toll authority and statute amendments enabled them to participate in the regional Tampa Bay toll and transit-related projects. I'm so very excited for Joe to be able to share some incredible things and innovations that are happening right here in the Tampa Bay community. Welcome to Joe Waggoner.
Good to see everybody here today in person. It's a nice change. I'm really looking forward to getting back to life as a full contact sport. It's awesome. First, I want to thank Center Club. That was a very good lunch, very tasty. Sometimes these business lunches aren't so good.
No chamber chicken here.
It was great. I will say, you put gravy on mashed potatoes and I'm your boy. So I'm going to start with a little background. The Tampa Hillsborough Expressway Authority is the agency of the state. By that I mean we are set up under state statute. We receive no tax funding. Like a business, our revenue is from our customers. The people who use the expressway pay a toll. That's a user. Our revenues, unlike toll revenues paid on the Veterans Expressway or the I-4 connector, which are owned by the Turnpike, our toll revenues stay here in Hillsborough County. We reinvest back into our project, into our community. Our agency is found under state statute, but our governing board is a board of local representation. 4 of our members are appointed by the governor. We have the mayor of Tampa and one of the county commissioners, of course, Mary Castor and Ken Hagan, the county commissioner on the board. And of course, District 7 secretary. Our 4 members appointed by the governor are very active in the community. We have Vince Cassidy, Danny Alvarez, Bennett Barrow, and John Weatherford, our most recent appointee. So we own 4 projects. Of course, the most prominent is the expressway itself. It runs about 15 miles from Brandon to Dale Mabry in Tampa, and we're adding about 2 more miles that we're going to talk about here shortly. We also own Brandon, Parkway, and Meridian, which are the feeder roads for the reversible express lanes. And I would tell you, if you drive those roads, you go out on there, you're going to see they're some of the best looking roads in the city of Tampa and county. We spend a lot of money investing in the landscaping to make sure they're always top notch and very attractive. We've also added the Summit Greenway, which is about a 2-mile bike pedestrian path, about 15 feet wide. It runs from Hillsborough River out to Ybor. That's been our latest addition. We aren't into just doing the road. We're all about how everything fits in the community. And we'll talk about that a little more. Next slide, please. And this part may sound like bragging because it is, but we are internationally known for our innovative approaches to transportation solutions. The reversible express lanes was the first all-electronic toll facility in the state of Florida. It was also the first reversible toll facility in the state of Florida. We faced a very special challenge there where you had very directional traffic flow. You know, in the morning, it's all coming to the west. In the evening, it's all going back out to the east. We only had 2 lanes in each direction, way over capacity. So what they built was, in the median, an elevated expressway that added 3 lanes. That effectively gave us 5 lanes coming in the morning and 5 lanes going out in the evening. And it's very effective. Reduced that trip from Brandon to downtown Tampa to almost nothing compared to what it was. Last year, our connected vehicle pilot project, which is all about automated, connected, electric, and shared. It's the coming transportation revolution. It's going to really change our world. It's going to happen. It will take decades for it to fully mature, but it's happening now. We did a connected vehicle pilot project with U.S. Department of Transportation that won national awards from a group called the Intelligent Transportation Systems Association. And they took that project to the international, their global meetings, and we were put into the Global Hall of Fame with that project. So we put Tampa on the map with regard to innovative, advancing transportation technologies. And that's a big deal in the transportation world, but it also reflects well in Tampa, which is another part of our mission. I will say that award we received from ITS, the Intelligent Transportation System Industry, we, a little toll agency here in Tampa, were the first ones on that Hall of Fame list, other than state DOTs of transportation around the United States. So again, reason to be proud and reason to brag. We also did a lot of that technology when we built some engineering innovation when we built the extension that I can talk to you about. I don't want to get out of order, so I'm going to stick with my script. So, next slide. As a local authority, this is more about the giving back and how we integrate the facility into the community. At Swan Avenue, the underpass, we cleaned and painted the walls, piers. We installed landscaping and lights. We made the sidewalk wider for pedestrian and stroller traffic and joggers who transverse the underpass there. At Brandon Tower, which is the picture top center, that's actually a 16-foot tall by 6-foot wide art feature out in the Brandon area. And the art on there was selected by the Brandon Arts Council. I actually have a copy of it in my house. I'll link it soon. For Frames on Franklin, we partnered with the city of Tampa, downtown partnership to display local artwork there. We also partnered with the city to light the Summit Expressway over the Hillsborough River. I see web pages or the front sheet of a lot of websites that talk about Tampa. And a lot of those pictures, you see a picture of that bridge with the light and the city behind it. So it's beautiful. If you've got there at night, it's something to see. And finally, we did things like the Cophila Memorial Dog Park. So Joe's an emotional guy. So anyway, we built a dog park to honor him. The deputy gave up his life to stop a wrong way driver. And we honored him by building a dog park. And I'll tell you, it has been wonderful to see the attendance and the amount of people who come there every day. It's an awesome thing. Next page, please. So we've seen a tremendous amount of growth in our region, and there's more coming. In the last 10 years, new businesses, new entertainment areas, new apartments, condos, commercial office space going up everywhere. Literally billions of dollars just along the Summit Expressway corridor. I like to refer to the Expressway corridor as a corridor of prosperity. I can point out the 301 interchange area on the east side where you've got the Tampa General Hospital, you have Bass Pro Shops. Coca-Cola is getting ready to put in a $300 million plus facility at that same location. In all, there's $1 billion worth of investment there. USA Insurance Company put their headquarters office out there. If you come to the center part, you have a very well-known Water Street development, $3 billion worth of investment, millions of square feet of office and commercial space. And if you go over to your area, South Tampa, you're seeing $800 million worth of improvements for residential, commercial, and office space, and much more to come. When I read that parcel at Macy's was bought, another 32 acres, I can't imagine what that's going to mean to that area. So what we're all about is serving that transportation demand. We are the primary connector to those areas to get you out of your community and take care of the delivery of goods and services and take care of your personal trips. That's the service we're meant to provide, and we do. Next slide. So what are we doing to address current congestion and that growth? We're adding capacity, and we're doing studies and plans to add more capacity where it needs to be. The Summit West Extension is a major improvement that separates local and regional traffic. We're giving them different paths, and both will benefit. The regional travelers who have to go between Pinellas and Hillsborough and Pinellas, it's a balanced flow. There's many people who leave Hillsborough every day to go to Pinellas for a job, as come from Pinellas to Hillsborough to a job. And in that mix was everybody who lived, worked, shopped on Gandy Boulevard. And at peak hours, it was a mess. And if we weren't in a pandemic right now with our construction, I guarantee it would have been not any more fun, it would have been worse. But thank goodness we're about to finish that step. I'm going to run a couple of videos right now to show a little bit of detail about the project and our progress. I think we're going to
Chapter.
The holes that are in the bottom, that is for the steel cables for the tendons to go through. The small concrete that's square in the middle is used for temporary stressing of the segments. Every segment that's cast has another segment that's cast right up against it, so the keyways locked together. There are 744 segments total. You can see it's got the final coat on it for the exterior paint. You'll see pockets that have been cast into the concrete barrier wall. Those are recessed for the aesthetic lighting that's going to be installed. Each of these fins has a minimum of 3 sets of post-tensioning tendons. First of its kind in America, as far as I know. You'll be able to see Howard Franklin Bridge off to your right. You'll be able to see the lights from the Sunshine Skyway off to the left. You get an incredible sunset. You'll see metal grates, that's our drainage system. We never put any additional water down on the ground. You can see the amount of steel that goes into any one of these barrier wall sections. They use external vibrators that actually shape the form to help the concrete put all the voids. The pivot crane will pick them up and literally pivot out over the steel truss system that you can see to my left. We're in span 10. Those are external post-tensioning tendons. They're called external simply because they're outside of the concrete. A specific number of date that was cast. All right, go back up top and then probably head to East End. Behind me, you can see the overpass that's being built for the new northbound connection to the Summit Expressway. You can see the steel tub girder bridge. This wall section is approximately 40 feet high. One of the things that makes this project special is the size of it and how quickly we're building it. It's a $230 million job. It's going to take a little over 2 years. Folks are going to be able to drive from Pinellas County east through Tampa to wherever they need to go without having a single stoplight. So we're here on a great night for the Tampa Hillsborough Expressway Authority. We just watched and set the last segment of about 744 bridge sections on an hour-and-a-half structure as part of the Summer West Expansion Project. We're very excited about it. You seemed like yesterday, almost a year and a half ago, we were at the other end of the bridge and set the first segment. We were excited about that, how that was going to affect the community. So here we are now, just before Christmas 2020. We set the last segment in place tonight. Moving forward, come springtime, we'll have to open to the public.
Tonight is for everybody who dreamed of this project. Thank you very much. We're very, very excited about what you've been able to do for our city and our town. We can't wait to be on this road. Here's to everybody.
Thank you. Last but not least is the Meridian median restoration we are putting in right now. I think it's a definite step up above what was there before. It looks great to me, and it's getting better every day. And we're also, I want to let everybody know, Candy Park, where the contractors staged their operations right now. We're going to be cutting a check for $2 million to the city of Tampa that will allow them to restore that park and make it even better than it was before the project started. So it's another thing that we can't wait to see what the city does with the money. We ought to be able to do some really nice things. While I'm on this project, I want to thank the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce for helping us communicate with the businesses, helping us communicate with the community about what the needs were and how we were going to do it, and telling us what we needed to do to keep the project moving smoothly and addressing the community concerns. You were a great service in that area, and we really appreciate your help. So thank you for that. The opening for that, we're looking for the third week of April. One area lead, executive director. So what are we doing next? We're doing project development and evaluation studies. quite a bit. Our work program that we lay out has about $1 billion worth of work we need to do for the summer to keep pace with the growth that's coming at us. And this is just touching on some of the things in high level that we're doing. Whiting Street PD&E. So if you know where the flour mill is downtown next to Meridian, when that goes away, which is going to be in the next 8 to 10 months, we made a pledge to cut through Whiting Street over Meridian. We're also connecting from Water Street development with Whiting and up into Washington Street. So we're helping complete that grid to make traffic flow in that area much better. We're going to rebuild and relocate some of the ramps that currently service on 6A and 6B. Right now, one of those comes right in at the Emily Arena. And it's sort of absolutely no use when you have an event because the police close it all every time we have an event. So we're going to move that out of there. We want to spread the ramps, where they got people off in a wider area. That's again going to help manage the traffic flows coming in of those peak periods. And we're going to signalize those ramps, which is a new thing we haven't done in the past. Signalize the ramps so the traffic flow stop and make pedestrian and bicycle traffic going across those streets much safer in the future. It's part of our big contribution to Vision Zero. Next, please. So the East Summit PD&E study, basically going from the Central Business District of Tampa all the way out to Brandon again. That growth has been tremendous. We've got to find ways to deal with what's coming. 700,000 people new people by 2045 is a huge number. That's more than 50% growth over what you have today. And there's an equal demand in trips that's going to come with that. You're going to grow by 50%, your transportation demand is going to go up by 50%. These studies will be probably cover segmental projects that will be built in 3 phases. One of the projects, it'll cost over $500 million to get this done over the next 10 to 12 years. And we can do it. We can do it. The first, we actually broke one lead element out of phase 1. We're going to be advertising 2 new ramps that service the reversible express lane. One, as you come north on I-75, there's a large bending ramp that brings you up, and you have you come up on the Summit proper from I-75, and you have to go all the way down to 301 now, past 301 to get into the reversible express lanes. We're building a new ramp, so as soon as you come up out off of I-75, you'll be able to get into I-75 much sooner. If you don't know it, if you haven't done this, you don't understand it. Right now, between I-75 and 301, it's a traffic jam because you got so much traffic coming from those 2 roadways that every peak period, it just goes almost. Before COVID, it was dead stop, and after COVID, it's going to come back and be a dead stop again. So we're going to let you get in sooner, remove a lot of that traffic, and create free flow again there. And then down later, even more important as far as I'm concerned, we're putting a ramp off of the REL. Right now, you can only take the REL, once you're on it, you get off at Twig Street and Meridian. I sit in my window, I look at like half-mile backups when we were at peak times, going up around the reversible express and people trying to get through signals. We're going to put a ramp off of the REL, about in the area where the IKEA is, just after the I-4 connection, so that people can use the REL all the way from I-75, US 301, and Brandon in the morning when they're driving westbound, use it all the way to that point, and then shift back over to the lower lanes. That'll give them the option of taking the lower lanes again, all the way to other downtown exits, or all the way to Gandy Bridge, all the way to the South Tampa to shop or deliver the goods and services. So we think that's a major new addition. It's going to be very helpful that we can advance $20 million, and we're going to advertise it this summer and get that underway. ES traffic studies show that this improvement alone will also keep drivers from doing cut-through traffic. That REL traffic comes down there right now. A lot of people are doing it and then taking local streets and get over to the roads like West Shore to go to McDill or go to other South Tampa locations instead of because they can't get back off the REL. So we think it's going to help relieve some downtown congestion there as well when we do that. Let's go to the next slide, please. Oh, we're there, you're right. So the South Tampa PD, this is the other half of the summit. This would be from the river all the way down to the improvement we're making now with the Summit West extension. That project, we have about $270 million in our capital plan to start that project in the next couple of years if we can. We want to thank you for attending the South Summit PD study public hearings and sharing your comments about the preferred alternate with the preferred alternate will widen to the outside of our existing right-of-way. And although the noise analysis showed that noise walls wouldn't be justified by the engineer's evaluation technique, we're going to put noise walls on both sides for the full length of the project anyway. Because that's what we heard from the community is what they wanted to see. So we're able to do it, we're going to do that. Some people amaze me, they say, well, you know, you put up a noise wall, people who live 3 blocks away don't receive any benefit. And I'd like to see their studies, but people read things on the internet and make these claims, and it's like, you waste your time trying to argue with them. My counter to that is, so I may not help the people who live 3 blocks away. The people who live within 1 and 2 blocks are going to receive a definite benefit. So instead of perfect, you want to set aside any improvement for the better. And we're going to do it because it's better where we can do it. During the public comment period of the study, which is just closed recently, we received near identical comments from members of an online Facebook group. And all those, they were basically copy and paste. And I was concerned, we're concerned that there was a lot of misinformation. And we want to make sure that our valued partner, the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce, is well informed. So I don't have time to cover all of the misstatements and misinformation was in there. I'll just talk about 2. They say that Summit Expressway capacity improvements are not compatible with Vision Zero goals, and that the toll dollars we spend on roadway improvements would be better spent on transit. Okay, one at a time. Both these statements miss the mark. Here's some facts. Next. Our capacity improvements, as well as our technology enhancements, are designed to better promote safety and keep cars out of neighborhoods. When traffic backups occur on the Summit, drivers will look for cut-through routes in neighborhood streets, such as Bay Shore Boulevard, Bay to Bay, Euclid, and El Prado. You saw this in the Gandy Corridor. Our capacity improvements, when traffic got backed up in the Gandy Corridor, traffic was bleeding off at every opportunity it could to try and weave its way through the local communities and residential areas outside of that corridor. Our improvements are going to help that stop. It should really make it go away. So we think our improvements are going to do the same for all of South Tampa here with our improvements to this portion of the expressway. The same goes for the technologies we put out there. We converted our roadway to all electronic tolling. We were the first to convert our whole roadway to all electronic tolling. That had a lot of financial risk with it. And I'll give you what I throw out there as a business opportunity there that I might ask you to join me in. But to provide a safer trip and to provide a greener trip and to also add capacity, we took the toll booths off the road. You put a toll stop place, you create a lot of fender benders, a lot of opportunities for traffic congestion to occur. And you also stop and go. Congestion is the worst thing you can do for greenhouse gas emissions and all other kinds of pollutants that are out there. So we took those out, the traffic flowed smoother, we actually gained capacity throughput. It became a much safer road because the accident opportunities went way down. It became a greener road by reducing that stop and go. Our current estimates are that about 50 metric tons of carbon emissions were taken off by making a free flow condition. That's what you do when you try to plan for the future and make the traffic flow smoother. Stop and go is bad. The business proposition with all electronic tolling. We faced this about 10 years ago in 2010 when we made this. Our new business model, instead of having somebody have a transponder, which means they had a credit card, they could drive through and we effectively swipe the credit card, they pay the toll, and they go through at speed. The other option was we drop the gate on you, you gave somebody $1, and then you drove through. Very secure way of getting your revenue from your customers. The new model is, I like to say, we opened up a 7-Eleven and we took out the cash register, we put in some cameras, and we put in a card reader. So customers with a card reader go in the store, they pick their merchandise up, they walk over to the card reader, they swipe it, and they walk out the door. Great, product's paid for. The rest of them, we took a picture of them as they walked in the door. They picked up their product, they walked out the door, and then we looked them up on Facebook. And we sent them a bill in the mail. Okay, so what do you think about that business model? Anybody want to join me in that? I don't think so. But we looked at it for all the reasons I just said, plus the cost reason for us. Actually collecting dollars out there on the road was costing me more money than this model would. When we did the analysis of our risk loss of revenue, it said, I'm spending more on an operating than I think I'll lose when I go to this new model. So the business decision was, we're going to go to the new business model. And we've been able to do quite well with that and manage those losses. Next slide. Second statement deals with transit and creates a false choice between toll roads and transit. Transit service is not our charge. A roadway that can provide smooth running and reliable trip times will be a great place for transit to run express service. No one's going to get in a bus just to sit in a traffic jam. It's not going to happen. You're not going to increase your ridership if that's what your customers are looking at. We don't use any tax dollars. We're 100% funded through our user fees, toll cash and toll revenue bonds. The limited and finite tax dollars, which are paid by our community, we don't get any of that. That can better be used and spent toward other mobility solutions like transit enhancements and transit improvements. Again, we get none of those dollars. We've actually come up with an idea where we can possibly partner with a transit agency to do something we call transit flex lanes. You've heard about TP Next and the price managed lanes DOT's proposed there. I think that's a good move. It's being used all over the country, really all over the world, to provide reliable trips in corridors like I-275. We're proposing an alternative way to do that. Make it a transit service corridor, all right? You put buses in there, you give buses a priority treatment. You price the lanes, allowing single occupant vehicles in there, but you price it to make sure the buses are flowing at speed. And you ask transit to be an equity investor with you. I follow almost a private business model. If you're going to help me build something, you bring capital to the table to help me build it, you're going to own a share of that revenue. If transit enters that kind of relationship, they would gain access to a revenue stream that help them pay their operation and maintenance costs. That is a huge challenge for transit. The tickets you pay when you get on a bus or when you get on a rail system, they cover maybe 20–25% of the daily operating and maintenance costs of that facility. The other 70%, 80% is subsidized by tax dollars. Access to a revenue stream in a relationship like I'm talking about would make that transit service pay for itself. That is a unique and unheard of transit application that we think is sustainable and would, again, take the demand off of other tax dollars to grow transit and the other parts off of the highway corridors that you also need to connect to that. And finally, they're missing points to CSX tracks that run parallel to the Summit Expressway. Our project doesn't touch that rail right away. And there's nothing that says, the community, if they can get CSX to let them do it, if they want to put rail service in that corridor, great, go do it. Find the tax dollars to do it. I'm a big fan of transit. We need to grow our transit. And I think transit running in that corridor and parallel to the highway, they can work together, feeding each other and feeding mobility choices to our community. But I want to make sure everybody understands this. When you look at that growth of 700,000 people coming into this area by 2045, that's more than a 50% growth above your current population. If you can find the money and you can put the transit systems in that allow you to triple or even quadruple your current transit ridership, that would still leave 90% of that growth unaddressed. 90% of that growth, demand, and trips would be unaddressed by an audacious transit goal, all right? And I'm all a fan of doing that. But it's not just any one thing, it all works together. Meeting our transportation needs is about all modes working together. We are trying to do our part and looking for partners that will help us do more. And that's my presentation. Thank you. Anybody want to ask questions, or you heard enough of me talking?
Do you have any questions?
Where are you at? The beard's coming back, by the way. I usually do it for Christmas. I should have been there on Christmas. I make a great Santa Claus.
Well, before you sit down, I just want to present you just a gift to say thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for your partnership and for all that your organization has done for our community. And looking forward to that.